All right. So for this, x is greater than -3. All right. How I would like for you to graph this is here is -3 on the number line. Here is +3 on the number line. All right. You don't have to write everything. You just write the answer and the opposite. Now, for me, greater than -3. Is there a first number greater than -3? -2 is definitely not the first number greater than -3. Is there a first number greater than -3? Definitely not.
-3.1. Great. Oh wait, -2.9.
No, you're supposed to say there is no first number greater than -3. There isn't. All right. That's why they use an open circle to graph. That's why they use an open circle to graph. Greater than is then shaded everything where? To the right. All right. Now notice I go above because I don't want you scribbling over the lines like that. All right. I don't like that. All right. So we just say open circle at -3 going to the right. Now, does everybody understand what I'm saying? There is no first number greater than -3.
Yes.
Right. There isn't. It's really small. That is correct. All right. So now if we say x is less than or equal to 4, I'm putting down -4. I'm putting down 4. Equal to 4 is a solid dot. And then less than. All right. So if you're equal to, doesn't that make sense? If you're equal to, it's a solid dot. All right. If it's greater than or less than, it's an open circle. Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, it's said to be solid. All right. So now let's take a look at number 3. So I have x is less than 7. So I have a 7 here. I have -7. If I am less than 7, open circle, right? And then less than. Shading to the left. Everybody good with that? All right, now greater than or equal to 0. So now we put 0. There is no opposite of 0, so we'll just put a 1. Greater than or equal to is a solid dot, now going to the right. All right, does everybody understand how easy that is, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Now, for the most part, sections 5-1, 5-2 are just adding, solving with addition. 5-2 is solving with multiplication and division. And 5-3 is multi-step. All right, I didn't want to waste time on section 5-1 and 5-2. I thought that was way too easy for us. So we're just going to go ahead and get into a little bit more complicated. All right, but if you are good at solving equations, then solving inequalities is going to be what?
Easy.
Really easy. All right, so I'm expecting everybody in here to just continue with our mental math. I know that 5x is less than what? 5x is less than -25. And when I divide, I end up with x is less than, x is less than -5.
Oh, I see. Because it would also be negative.
Does anybody have any questions with this? X is less than -5. Jocelyn, what?
Oh, never mind.
All right, so now because we agree it's less than -5, we're going to put -5 down and +5. Open circle at -5 going in which direction? Left. It's really simple. All right, now we're going to do the odds. All right, we're going down. You can do the evens tonight. All right, so first step, we're going to do what? Add the 7. So everybody should be able to say that's just a over 4 is less than or equal to
4.
-4. Be careful, please. And so now a is less than or equal to, right, -16. So now we put -16, we put +16, less than or equal to is a solid dot going to the left. Everybody's good with that? Okay. Now, before we do number 9, I want to ask someone this question. All right, please look up. All right, if I say 2 is greater than -8, that would be true, correct? Now, look, I just need everybody to listen because I always used to think that the teachers were just making things up, right? There's just rules in math that I feel like they just make things up, and I don't understand how they make them up. All right, so I'm showing you by observation how the rule is. All right, so does everybody agree if I add 2 to both sides, I would get 4 is greater than -6? Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
So does everybody understand addition is okay, right? It still creates an inequality. So now let's say if I subtract 1. If I subtract 1, I get 3 is greater than -7. Is that still true?
Yes.
Right. So now let's say I multiply by 3. So everybody agree 9 is greater than -21.
Yeah.
That's still true, right? Now watch, please. If I divide by -1, if I divide by -1, I get -9 is greater than 21. Does everybody see that? Is that true? No, it's not true. All right, so when I tell you these rules, I'm not just making things up. They discovered these rules. All right, when you multiply or divide by a negative, you must change what? All of the signs. All right, so this greater than should have been changed to a what? Less than. All right, so the one rule that is different for inequalities is when you multiply or divide by negative, you must also change the inequality sign. You must also change the inequality sign. Does anybody have any questions with that? All right, so now what does that mean? Up here, all right, 2D minus 5D is what? Is -3D is greater than -35. Hold on one second. Yeah. All right, and so now what do I do? Divide. So everybody's just going to say D is less than 35 over 3. All right, that's how easy these problems are. All right, so now you come down to your line here and you just say, okay, I have -35 thirds and I have +35 thirds. And then if I'm less than 35 thirds, it would be an open circle, right? And then I'd be going less than. All right, now I was a little upset once because I then asked, well, where is 35 thirds on a number line? And some kids could not tell me. Where is 35 thirds between what 2 numbers?
3 and 4.
Between 3 and 4. Anybody else? 35 thirds is between what 2 integers?
11.
Between what? 11 and 12. 7 and 8. Why is it 7 and 8?
For him.
What? Who said 11 and 12? Pat yourself on the back. All right, come on, guys. That's embarrassing. 35 thirds is, how many times does 3 go into 35? 11. Right? So it's 11 and 2/3. 11 and 2/3 is between 11 and 12. All right, is everybody with me on that?
Yeah.
Come on now. I don't do mixed fractions for a reason, but I expect you to understand that 35 thirds is between 11 and 12. All right. Anybody have any questions with that? All right. So now let's take a look at not number 10. Number 11. So what do I need to do on number 11? Multiply by 7. And then what? Okay, guys, now listen, please. All right, multiplying by 7. X plus 4 is less than what? Now, do I change the sign? No. Did I multiply by a negative? No, I did not. All right, just because the 3 is negative doesn't mean I change the sign. I'm multiplied by 7. All right, so we don't change the sign. So now we just say x is less than what?
-25.
Negative 25. So then we come over here, we put negative 25. We put a 25 on our paper and less than open circle going in which direction? Left. All right. Again, I'm agreeing with you. Super duper easy. All right, here we go. 13. All right, now again, you guys are great at mental math. So I'm expecting everybody to say, okay, I just moved the 3x over. So that becomes what? 4x. Then I do what with the negative 8? Move it over. So 4x is less than or equal to what? 16. So now x is less than or equal to 4. Thank you very much. X is less than or equal to 4. So now we go to -4, +4, less than or equal to, going to the left. Anybody have any questions with that? Anybody? All right, here we go. Distributing the 2, right? 3x plus 3 is greater than 8x. 8x minus 22. So I still try to keep the variables positive. So I have 8x becomes a 5x. I add 22, that becomes a 25. Is everybody okay with that? And now I divide by 5, right? So now please, here's another example. I need everybody to pay attention, please. Look up, look up, look up. If I say 3 is greater than -2, is that true? So if I decide to compare -2 to 3, it would be what? It would be -2 is less than 3. So does everybody see what I'm showing you, right? If you switch the order of the numbers, then you have to also switch the what? You have to switch the sign. So if I say 5 is greater than x, we say x is what? Less than 5. Now, I always try to tell kids the way my brain works is 5 is greater than x. That doesn't register very well with me. If 5 is greater than x, that means everything that x is has to be what? Less than 5. All right. But instead of thinking like that, I just reverse it around. You should always write the inequality first. All right. So if x is less than 5, again, we just come over here, -5, 5, circle, move. Everybody's good with that? All right. Here we go. Now, let's practice our mental math here, guys. All right, everybody just look at that. Put your pencils down. Everybody should be able to look at that and tell me the answer. No. I don't need anything. I just need you to look at that and say, obviously, x is greater than -2. What did you say? No, I didn't say it was right. Come on. What is -1? X is greater than -1. Anybody else? Yeah, no work. Just looking up there and tell me what the answer is. Say it again, Whit. Is that what you got? Yeah, I think x is greater than -1. All right. First of all, we do what first? Add 7. Then here's the trick. You divide by -3. When you divide by negative, what does that do to the sign? Change the sign. So now it's 21 divided by -3, which becomes -7. Then you add 5. What is that? And then you divide by 2, -1. And then you change the sign. Is everybody with me on that? All right, you're practicing your mental math, guys. Everybody should be good with that. All right, but because we want to be great, we're just going to say -3 parentheses 2x minus 5 is less than 21. 2x minus 5 is greater than -7. 2x is greater than -2, and x is greater than -1. And then graph that. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody have any issues? Go ahead, I'm listening. Whenever you multiply or divide by a negative, you change the inequality sign. I divided by -3. Because I divided by -3, I switched the inequality sign. You good with that explanation? And like I said, I tell everybody, why did they do that? Right? I tried to explain to you why they do that. I always thought they were just making up rules, or it didn't make sense to me. Why do I change the sign when I multiply, divide by a negative? Right? Because if you don't, it'll be wrong. You with me? And that rule was created based off of what? Observation. You with me? All right. So now I'm happy with that. All right. Hopefully everybody's feeling good about this. So 19, I should do what first? Divide by 7. 5 is greater than j minus 4. Now what? Add 4. So I have 9 is greater than j. Is everybody happy with that? Therefore, what? J is less than 9. Everybody's good with that?
9 is greater than J and then J is less than 1.
Right?
Oh,
Right? And that's very true. He said it perfectly. If 9 has to be greater than J, then J has to be less than 9. It's a perspective. What are you looking at? All right. Does anybody have any question? Jocelyn, are you good with that? All right. Anybody else have an issue? Anybody else? All right. I think we're doing good. All right. Multiplying by what? -6, right? Multiplying by -6. So we say D minus 4 is,
less than or equal to.
yes. And now what? So D is less than or equal to. Now less than or equal to is what kind of dot? Closed or solid. All right. Closed or solid. And then shading or graphing to the left. Anybody have any issue with 21? Yes, go ahead. Did we multiply by a negative? True. You see what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
I multiplied by -6. Therefore, I changed the sign.
The number that, what if the 7 was negative and the.
You don't change the sign.
Okay.
Yeah, remember what I'm telling you. This is why I say the words are important. If I multiply by a negative, not if the number is negative, if you multiply or divide by a negative. You hear me now, right? All right, here we go. Let's knock out 23. So this is another one, really simple, right? Subtract 19. 3 s minus 5 is greater than or equal to -21. Divide by 3, s minus 5 greater than or equal to -7. So s is greater than or equal to -2. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody? All right. Now greater than is solid dot at -2 going to the right. Easy, guys. Okay, 25. I don't think there's an easy way to do this. So let's practice distributing a 2. So we end up with what? Thank you. 2x minus 8. Distribute negative. Help me.
Minus negative. Minus negative 5x.
Not minus negative. Yes, there we have it. Okay, so now I have what? Combined terms. Negative 3x. Then what? No. Minus what? 1. Come on, guys. What's the matter? Combining terms. Negative 3x minus 1. Does everybody agree with that or not? All right. Now we add 1. Is what? And now? No. Then what? X is greater than 2/3. Is everybody good with that? Now, 2/3 is between what 2 points? All right, guys, I feel better now about that. Please graph 2/3, graph negative 2/3, open circle on 2/3, going in which direction? To the right. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, now 27. Now, personally, for me, all right, look, guys, look up. My brain just looks at this and just says, it's really just 6/5 parentheses f plus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 66. Everybody see that? I just moved this quantity because it's what? Negative over here, and then I moved the 66 over here. Do you have to do that? No, but I'm just trying to tell you, I don't like dealing with negatives, variables that are negatives. All right, so now how do I get rid of the 6/5? By what? 5/6. So now I have f plus 4 is greater than or equal to what? I don't think so. Negative 55. And then, of course, f is greater than or equal to what? 59. Right? So because it's equal to, there'd be a solid dot at what? And going in which direction? To the right. Okay, come on. I'm listening.
How would you just flip the equation like that? Because I thought you said we weren't allowed to do that unless, we weren't allowed to flip the sign unless we were multiplying or dividing by negatives.
When did I never said that? But I will demonstrate for you. All I did was I just did plus 6/5 f plus 4 plus 6/5 f plus 4 minus 66 minus 66. That's all I did. Why would it change? Did I multiply, divide by negative? No, I did not. So it doesn't change. Right or not? 66 and the negative 66, these two things cancel. There you have it. All right, everybody's good with that? All right, let's look at 29. So we can subtract 17, that's going to be what? So now here we go. Negative 14 is greater than 7 parentheses I minus 2. Now what? Divide by 7. So negative 2 is greater than I minus 2. Now what? 0 is greater than I. Therefore, I is less than 0. Thanks for the information. Anybody else having issues with that? All right, let the fun continue. Wow. I was real soft on you guys.
That's funny.
All right, so all you need to do now, guys, guess what? Finish up the evens right now. Let's go.